As the coronavirus pandemic continues to spread across the globe, the pharmaceutical industry is under pressure to provide a vaccine that would put an end to this deadly virus affecting human existence. In Nigeria, COVID-19 pandemic has created a form of challenge in the pharmaceutical sector due to the country's overdependence on imported drugs, mostly from China and India. In a bid to cushion the effect of the pandemic on the healthcare and pharmaceutical industry, the Central Bank of Nigeria provided a 100 billion naira intervention fund to enable the sector procure raw materials and equipment to boost local drug production in the country. I have joining me now live to shed more light on the COVID-19 intervention fund and, of course, all other issues affecting the pharmaceutical industry. He is the president, Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, PSN, Dr. Mazi Sam Ohabowa. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Thank you for calling me. God bless you. It's a pleasure always to join TVC.
All right, sir. So let's first of all start by assessing the effect of COVID-19 on the entire health sector. What we see happening even globally, we see the pressure. How well would you say Africa's most populous nation, Nigeria, managed this situation?
I want to thank God first, because if you ask me, the grace of God has been so evident on us. And that is the reason why we seem to have had lower fatalities, lower infections than was expected. Despite our low testing rates, at least even if we are not tested, there will have been higher fatalities, if not for the grace of God. However, despite our low fatalities or lower infection rates, the critical thing is that every country in the world has been affected by the economic consequence of this COVID-19. Because for approximately 6 months, this country was shut down. The economy was shut down, we were locked down, and businesses did not operate. Many companies did not open. Transportation came to a halt. Airports were shut. And logistics came to a halt. So the consequences are that we have had some gaps in the supply, in the market supply of goods, including pharmaceutical products and pharmaceutical consumables and medical consumables. We have had the issue of plant idleness, therefore leading to low productivity of staff, and low productivity of staff will lead to productivity of companies. So the totality is what we're seeing in the economy: a compression, a contraction of gross domestic product, and therefore a contraction in the productivity of many companies in the health sector. Overall, the impact has been negative, for some worse, for some not as bad, but I think COVID-19 has really disrupted every sector of the economy, including the healthcare system.
Very, very worrisome trend. Now, the ultimate aim of maybe the central bank and other development financial institutions is to deepen local production, particularly in the health sector at this time. Now, how far have we gone with this process around backward integration in the pharmaceutical space?
Well, thank you. Before now, it's been a long battle, because to invest backwardly or to do by increasing ability to study, increasing the quantity of locally manufactured products is against imported finished goods, depended on investment. And it's either you get domestic investment or you get foreign investment. Now, you know our country, business environment and investment competitiveness. And so foreign investments are not coming as we wish they came. Domestic investment was also stifled because to invest in raw material development, research and development, and even plant expansion, you needed long tenured funds, large volumes of funds, either in equity or debt. But in Nigeria, up to now, we were not able to access long tenured funding. The funding was 90 days, 180 days, 1 year. And interest rates were not such that you could invest in risky businesses like in, research and development, or long-term investment like building a plant. So we have had to deal with this issue, And that's why Nigeria's health policy that allowed for 70% of essential drugs to be procured locally have not worked. And as I speak to you, depending on who you ask, we're doing between 30 and 40% of our local needs locally. And this is the reason why we have been in this mess. But recently, as you well know, the CBN, listening to what is going on, reviewing global development and seeing that every nation has shown some vulnerability. So depending on third nations or other nations for the procurement of essential medicine have begun to look inwards. Nigeria has also started, and the CBN provision of some funding dedicated to the pharmaceutical sector and the health sector on a long term is a tonic. But is it going to transform the situation in one day? That's unlikely. Because as I speak to you, some of the companies that have gotten the facilities are unable to have foreign exchange to import inputs, whether it is raw materials, whether it is equipment, whatever it is they need to build up their capacity or to start the work for which the money has been given has been difficult because of the difficulty in getting foreign exchange. And therefore, the positive impact of what we have seen will take a long time to manifest because it takes time to get the inputs, get the machines, get the equipment, build the plants, install the machines, test them, validate them, and then be able to produce pharmaceutical products that are GMP compliant and that are approved by the regulatory agencies. However, we have hope because hope is what keeps life. We have hope that in the next year or two, changes will begin to happen.
Now, 100 billion intervention fund for the pharmaceutical sector and the health sector. There have been a lot of reactions around this. Some say, wow, this is perfect, like you've just welcomed the development. Some are saying this is coming too late. In direct terms, what impact do you see this having in the sector moving on?
Well, there's something that says it's better late than never. It's not too late because the country is still existing, the world is still going on. We're not coming to the end of the world soon, hopefully. So we believe that even if we've lost time, we can still catch up. And what makes this much more meaningful to me is that the investment, the 100 billion, is dedicated to increasing capacity, increasing ability to produce more and produce a lot more different categories. But in addition, there is additional effort being made to stimulate local research through the National Institute for Pharmaceutical Research and Development, through the universities and other private and third-party researchers who can produce raw materials, excipients, and even the possibility of starting an active pharmaceutical ingredient plant, API. These are moves that are being made. And at the end of the day, it will help to reduce our dependence on importation. It will create more work. It will lead to technology transfer, more employment, more wealth creation, and increased economic activity, which will help to reduce unemployment and reduce poverty. That is the medium to long-term expectation. But in the short term, we can't see the result that easily. As I said, it takes a lot of time between when this money is disbursed, as most of it is disbursed now, to when we can bring in the what we need to build the plants, expand our facilities, start new research projects, etc. So in the medium term, yes, there's going to be positive, as I said, more employment, more work creation, and general improvement in the economic performance of the industry, but not in the immediate, in the medium to long term.
Indeed. There's going to be like a transition period. That's what you're talking about, Mazi. Now, let's look at this boosting local manufacturing of local medicine. What are you also doing as a society to also check fake and counterfeited drugs across the country? How do you check and maintain standards? Take us through that.
Thank you very much. We have regulatory agencies, NAFDAC, the Pharmacists Council of Nigeria, These two agencies regulate the pharmacy profession. In terms of quality of products, NAFDAC is the one that ensures that every pharmaceutical product, every medical product, every food and other ancillary products meet minimum NAFDAC maintains that. But we're now even going beyond that minimum standard, that minimum NAFDAC standard. The country, under the assistance of NAFDAC and support of other multilateral agencies, is moving to what we call WHO GMP compliance. WHO GMP compliance is a different level from the NAFDAC GMP compliance. And as a company, some companies are at this level now, so that they can compete globally.